What's the first thing you do when you wake up? Do you check your phone, get lost in emails, or do you take control of your mind? The way you start your morning shapes everything: your focus, your decisions, your energy. If you don't set your mind on the right path, the world will set it for you. Read these 7 lines out loud. Feel them, believe them, let them shape your day. Because the way you begin your morning determines the way you live your life. These are not just words. They are mental blueprints rooted in Stoic wisdom and backed by psychology. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all practiced this. Now you will too. Why does this work? Because what you repeat, you become. Neuroscience proves that your brain rewires itself based on the thoughts you feed it. By choosing the right affirmations, you train your mind for resilience, confidence, and inner peace. Stay until the end. I will not only reveal these 7 lines, but also show you how to apply them, how to make them a habit that transforms your life. And if this message resonates, share it. Someone you know needs this, maybe a friend, a family member, or even yourself from yesterday. Let's take control of our minds, starting now. 1. Today, I choose happiness. Viktor Frankl lost everything: his family, his home, his freedom. He was imprisoned in a Nazi concentration camp, surrounded by death, suffering, and hopelessness. But even in those inhumane conditions, he discovered something powerful, the one thing no one could take from him: his ability to choose his mindset. He realized that happiness wasn't about circumstances. It wasn't about what was happening around him. It was about his response. Frankl later wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." This is what most people don't understand. Happiness is not a reaction. It is a decision, a choice made every single morning, a choice that shapes your entire day. But here's the problem. Most people wait for happiness. They believe it comes after success, after getting the promotion, after finding the right relationship, after making more money. They tell themselves, "I'll be happy when." But when never comes. Because happiness is not a destination. It's not something you find. It's something you create. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, understood this deeply. He taught us that external events have no real control over us. What matters is our perception of them. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. 2 people can experience the exact same situation. One remains calm and optimistic, and the other becomes angry and resentful. The difference? Mindset. The world is unpredictable. Things will go wrong, people will disappoint you, life will challenge you. But none of those things can dictate your happiness unless you let them. And this is where most people fail. They give away their power. They let circumstances decide their emotions. They allow setbacks, criticisms, and inconveniences to ruin their day. But what if you took control? What if, instead of reacting, you chose your response? Science proves this works. Studies on positive affirmations and cognitive conditioning show that what you say to yourself every morning literally rewires your brain. When you repeat, "I choose happiness," you train your mind to focus on what's good instead of what's missing. You program your subconscious to seek solutions instead of problems. Your emotions follow your thoughts, and if you choose positive, empowering thoughts, happiness becomes your natural state. But here's why most people struggle. They chase happiness in the wrong places. They believe it exists in external achievements, money, status, material things. But have you ever noticed how quickly excitement fades after getting something new? That's called the hedonic treadmill. Your brain adapts. What once made you happy becomes normal, and you need something bigger, something better, just to feel the same excitement. This is why chasing happiness never works. It keeps you stuck, always needing more, never feeling satisfied. The Stoics knew this thousands of years ago. Seneca wrote, "He who needs riches is poor." Not because wealth is bad, but because if your happiness depends on it, you will never be free. When you base your happiness on things outside your control, you become a prisoner of your circumstances. But when you realize that happiness is an inside job, you reclaim your power. So how do you make happiness a habit? How do you train your mind to choose joy instead of stress? It starts with simple, daily practices that rewire your brain. First, use the 3-second rule. The moment something frustrates you, traffic, a rude comment, an unexpected delay, pause for 3 seconds before reacting. This interrupts your emotional impulse and gives you time to respond intentionally. Instead of saying, "This is ruining my day," say, "I control my reaction." This small shift changes everything. Next, practice morning happiness conditioning. Each morning, before checking your phone or thinking about problems, write down one thing that makes you happy. It could be small: your morning coffee, the sunshine, the opportunity to improve. By focusing on joy first, you set the tone for the entire day. Your brain starts searching for more reasons to be happy, reinforcing the habit. Then, reframe challenges. Instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Every obstacle carries a lesson. Every setback contains an opportunity for growth. When you shift from victim to student, problems become stepping stones instead of roadblocks. And finally, control your inputs. What you consume affects your mindset. Negative news, toxic social media, and complaining coworkers all shape your perception. Limit negativity. Surround yourself with content, people, and ideas that uplift your mind. Happiness is not just what you think, it's what you allow into your life. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic leaders, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Strength to choose happiness, no matter what. Strength to see beyond momentary discomfort. Strength to take control of your emotions instead of being controlled by them." Most people wait for happiness, believing it's something they'll achieve someday. But someday never comes, because happiness is not found in a paycheck, a relationship, or a destination. Happiness is found in the present moment, in the choices you make today. So say it out loud, say it with conviction. Today I choose happiness. Not because life is perfect, not because everything is easy, but because I control my mind, and that means, no matter what happens, happiness is always within my power. 2. I am grateful for everything I have. What if you woke up tomorrow with only the things you expressed gratitude for today? Think about it. If everything you take for granted, your family, your health, the simple joys of everyday life, suddenly disappeared, would you have truly appreciated them enough? Most people live their lives constantly chasing more, always looking for the next thing, believing that happiness lies just beyond their reach. They focus on what's missing, what they don't have, what they wish was different. But this mindset is a trap. The truth is, if you are not grateful for what you have now, you won't be grateful for what you gain later. No amount of success, wealth, or external achievement can ever fill a heart that is conditioned to see lack. Seneca once said, "Wealth is not about having more, but needing less." That is the essence of gratitude. It's not about accumulating more things, but about shifting your perspective so that what you already have becomes enough. When you live in a state of gratitude, you stop searching outside yourself for fulfillment. You stop waiting for happiness to arrive. You realize it has been within your reach all along. Science backs this up. Studies in psychology show that gratitude literally rewires your brain. The human mind has a natural negativity bias, a survival mechanism that makes us focus on dangers and problems. While this was useful for early humans trying to avoid predators, in modern life, it makes us overly focused on what's wrong. It's why people can have a great day but dwell on the one negative comment they received. It's why success feels fleeting, and why contentment always seems just out of reach. But when you practice gratitude daily, you override this negativity bias. You force your brain to seek the positive, to recognize abundance instead of scarcity, and to feel fulfilled rather than deprived. Gratitude is not just a feel-good emotion, it's a tool for mental transformation. Researchers at the University of California found that people who actively practice gratitude experience 25% higher levels of happiness. They sleep better, handle stress more effectively, and even have stronger immune systems. Why? Because gratitude shifts the focus from what's missing to what's already there. And when you focus on abundance, you feel abundant. When you focus on what's good, you naturally attract more of it. But how do you cultivate gratitude as a habit? How do you train your mind to default to appreciation instead of complaint? One of the most powerful exercises is something I call the last time reflection. Think about the last time you did something without realizing it was the last. The last time you had dinner with someone you loved before they moved away. The last time you walked through your childhood home before it was sold. The last time you held someone's hand before life took you in different directions. We rarely recognize the last moments of things while we are experiencing them. But if we did, we would cherish them more. We would slow down. We would be fully present. And this awareness can make even the simplest parts of life feel like a gift. Another effective practice is keeping a gratitude journal. Every morning, before you get lost in emails, stress, or social media, write down 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be big. It could be the warmth of sunlight streaming through your window, the first sip of coffee, a kind word from a stranger. The more specific you get, the more your brain learns to notice the good around you. And over time, this shifts your entire outlook on life. Beyond writing, gratitude becomes even more powerful when shared. The next time you appreciate someone, don't keep it to yourself. Tell them, send a message, speak the words out loud. Expressing gratitude doesn't just make you feel better, it strengthens relationships, builds connections, and spreads positivity. When you make a habit of thanking people, you create an environment where appreciation is felt, not just thought. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And there is no thought more powerful than gratitude. It changes not only how you see the world, but how you experience it. When you live with gratitude, even the ordinary becomes extraordinary. The small moments become meaningful. The things you once overlooked become sources of joy. Most people wait for life to give them reasons to be grateful, but that's backward. Gratitude is not the result of having a good life, it is the cause of it. When you choose to be grateful, life responds. You start to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You recognize beauty in the simplest things. You feel a sense of peace, even when things aren't perfect. So ask yourself, if tomorrow you only had what you expressed gratitude for today, what would remain? Would it be enough? Or would you have spent another day focusing on what's missing? Say it now, say it with conviction. I am grateful for everything I have. Not because life is perfect, not because you have everything you want, but because what you have right now is already enough. And the moment you truly believe that your life will change. 3. I am capable of achieving great things. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before he succeeded in inventing the light bulb. Imagine that. 10,000 attempts, 10,000 setbacks, 10,000 reasons to quit. Most people would have stopped after a handful of failures, convinced that their efforts were useless. But Edison didn't see failure as proof of his limitations. He saw it as a necessary part of the process. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His story is not just about perseverance, it's about belief. The belief that effort matters more than talent. The belief is that setbacks are steps forward, not signs to stop. The belief to hack greatness is not something you are born with. It is something you develop through persistence and an unshakable mindset. Most people don't reach their full potential, not because they lack intelligence or ability, but because they have convinced themselves that they are not capable. They live within invisible walls, thinking their limits are real when, in reality, they are self-imposed. They believe success is reserved for others, the gifted, the privileged, the lucky. But that belief is the only thing holding them back. The moment you realize that ability is not fixed, that skills can be built, that failures are simply lessons in disguise, you become unstoppable. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, understood this deeply. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Strength does not come from external circumstances. It does not come from luck or genetics. It comes from within. It comes from the way you think, the way you react, and the way you choose to interpret the world around you. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the way you see yourself. Psychologists call this the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities are set in stone. They think intelligence, talent, and potential are predetermined, that you are either born good at something or you are not. They see effort as useless, failure as proof of inadequacy, and challenges as threats. And because they believe these things, they never push beyond their perceived limits. They never challenge themselves. They stay stuck, not because they have to, but because they assume they can't change. But then there are those with a growth mindset. These are the people who understand that abilities are not fixed, that intelligence can be developed, what skills can be learned, that effort is the path to mastery. They embrace challenges. They see failures as feedback. They don't stop when things get difficult because they know that difficult is where growth happens. Studies show that people with a growth mindset achieve significantly more than those with a fixed mindset, not because they start off better, but because they never stop improving. So the question is, which mindset do you have? More importantly, which mindset will you choose? Because the truth is, you are not defined by your past. You are not limited by what you were told growing up. You are not stuck at your current level of skill, intelligence, or capability. The only thing keeping you where you are is the belief that you can't grow beyond it. The moment you change that belief, everything changes. If you have ever caught yourself saying, "I can't do this," stop, reframe it. Instead, ask yourself, "How can I?" That one small shift changes everything. The words you use shape your thoughts, and your thoughts shape your actions. When you say, "I can't," you shut the door to possibility. When you ask, "How can I?" you force your brain to start looking for solutions. The most successful people in history were not born with extraordinary talent. They simply refused to accept limitations. They believed in their ability to learn, to adapt, and to push forward even when things got hard. One of the most powerful tools to unlock your potential is visualization. Your brain doesn't distinguish between reality and vividly imagined experiences. Studies on athletes show that those who mentally rehearse their performance improve just as much as those who physically train. Why? Because when you see yourself succeeding, your brain begins to create neural pathways that support that reality. This is why elite performers visualize their success long before it happens. They don't just hope, they train their minds to expect it. Every day, take a few minutes to close your eyes and picture your best future self. See yourself achieving your goals. See yourself overcoming challenges with confidence. See yourself becoming the person you were meant to be. When you do this consistently, you start to align your actions with that vision. You start making decisions from a place of confidence rather than fear. And over time, that vision becomes reality. The biggest mistake people make is letting failure define them. They assume that just because they failed once, they will always fail. But failure is not proof of your limits. It is proof that you are trying. Every successful person has failed. Every great achievement is built on a foundation of mistakes, setbacks, and lessons learned the hard way. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. The ones who succeed keep going. They don't see failure as the end. They see it as a step forward. So stop telling yourself that you are not capable. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop looking at others and thinking they have something you don't. The only difference between you and them is that they took action. They believed in their ability to grow. They stopped letting fear dictate their potential. And now, it's your turn. Say it out loud. Say it with conviction. I am capable of achieving great things. Not someday. Not when everything is perfect. Right now. Because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the belief that you can't have it. Change that belief, and everything else will follow. 4. I do not waste time on things I cannot control. Imagine waking up every morning with $86,400 in your bank account, but someone steals $10 from you. Would you throw away the remaining $86,390 in anger? Would you waste your entire fortune because of one minor loss? Of course not. That would be irrational. And yet this is exactly what most people do with their time and energy every single day. You don't just have $86,400 in your account, you have 86,400 seconds in your day. And when something small goes wrong, when someone cuts you off in traffic, when a stranger is rude, when you receive a frustrating email, you let it steal not just one moment, but your entire mood. You allow a small inconvenience to take control of your entire day, wasting time replaying the frustration in your mind. Most people waste their energy on things that do not deserve their attention. They obsess over politics, over the opinions of people who don't matter, over past mistakes they cannot change. They hold on to anger, regret, and frustration as if these emotions serve them, as if dwelling on them will make things better. But they never do. Holding on to what is out of your control is like carrying a heavy suitcase through life, filled with things you don't need. It slows you down, it drains you, and it prevents you from moving forward freely. The truth is, the more you try to control what isn't yours to control, the more you suffer. The Stoics had a simple rule: if it's not within your control, let it go. Epictetus said it best: there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Yet most people do the opposite. They live their lives trying to control the uncontrollable. They try to change how others think. They try to make the world bend to their expectations. They get frustrated when things don't go their way, as if reality should adjust itself to their desires. But reality doesn't work that way. The only thing you truly have control over is yourself. Your thoughts, your actions, your reactions. The moment you accept this, you become powerful. The truth is that most people are exhausted, not because they are physically tired, but because they are mentally drained by things that do not matter. They scroll endlessly through social media, comparing themselves to strangers. They spend hours arguing about things they will never change. They let the opinions of people they don't even respect dictate how they feel about themselves. They live in regret, wishing they could go back and change the past. But none of these things add value to their lives. None of these things make them stronger, wiser, or better. They are distractions, illusions that keep people stuck in a cycle of negativity. But you have a choice. You can choose to take back control of your mind. You can choose to stop giving your time and energy to things that don't deserve it. It starts with a simple question: is this within my control? The next time you feel frustrated, ask yourself this. If the answer is yes, then take action. If the answer is no, then let it go. It really is that simple. Most stress comes from trying to control what isn't yours to control. You can't control the weather, but you can control how you dress for it. You can't control how others treat you, but you can control how you respond. You can't undo past mistakes, but you can learn from them and move forward. When you focus only on what you can control, life becomes clearer. Your energy is no longer wasted on things that don't matter. You gain mental clarity, emotional resilience, and an unshakable sense of peace. One way to put this into practice is to take an inventory of your worries. Write down everything that stresses you out, everything that occupies your mind. Then separate them into two categories: things you can control and things you cannot. Be brutally honest. Most of the things people worry about, how others perceive them, whether the economy will collapse, what might happen in the future, are completely outside of their control. And if you cannot control something, why waste energy on it? The more you focus on what you can influence, the more power you have. The more you obsess over what you cannot, the more powerless you feel. Letting go is not about ignoring problems. It's about prioritizing your energy. You have limited time, limited focus, and limited mental bandwidth. Spend it wisely. Imagine if all the energy you spent worrying about things you couldn't change was redirected toward improving yourself. Imagine if, instead of getting angry over something trivial, you use that time to learn something new, to build something meaningful, to develop a skill that makes your life better. Every moment wasted on things beyond your control is a moment stolen from your growth, your happiness, your peace. Most people never realize how much power they give away. They let a bad comment ruin their confidence. They let a minor inconvenience ruin their entire day. They let small things become big problems because they never learned the discipline of letting go. But those who achieve greatness do not waste time on distractions. They do not give their energy to things that do not deserve it. They understand that what they focus on expands, and they guard their minds with the same intensity that they guard their physical health. You have a choice. You can continue letting the outside world dictate your emotions, or you can reclaim your power. You can keep reacting to every little inconvenience, or you can rise above them. You can waste your life on things you cannot control, or you can invest your energy into what truly matters. The choice is yours. Say it out loud. Say it with conviction. I do not waste time on things I cannot control, because my energy is mine to protect. My focus is mine to direct. And my life is too valuable to be wasted on things that do not deserve my attention. 5. I embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the very company he created. Imagine that. The company he built, the vision he poured his life into, ripped away from him. Most people would have been crushed. Most would have taken it as proof that they weren't good enough. But Jobs didn't. Years later, he would say, "Getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me." Because that failure forced him to grow. It pushed him to innovate in ways he never would have otherwise. And when he returned to Apple years later, he built it into one of the most successful companies in history. Life works like that. The hardest moments, the biggest setbacks, the things that feel like the end of the world, those are often the very things that shape us into who we are meant to become. The problem is that most people resist challenges. They see obstacles as unfair, as proof that they should stop trying. They ask, "Why is this happening to me?" instead of asking, "What can I learn from this?" But the truth is, challenges don't break you, they build you. Seneca understood this long before modern psychology confirmed it. He wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Just like muscles grow by being pushed beyond their limits, your mind, your character, and your potential grow through struggle. Without challenges, there is no growth. Without resistance, there is no strength. The key is understanding this before the storm hits. Most people panic when life gets hard. They see obstacles as setbacks instead of stepping stones. But those who achieve greatness, they embrace challenges. They don't just survive adversity, they thrive in it. Most people believe resilience is about enduring hardship. But there's something even stronger than resilience. It's called being anti-fragile. A fragile person breaks under pressure. A resilient person withstands pressure. But an anti-fragile person grows stronger from pressure. They don't just survive the storm, they use it to become better, sharper, and more unstoppable. Imagine two people losing their jobs on the same day. One falls into despair, convinced their life is over. The other sees an opportunity, a chance to build something new, to grow, to take control of their destiny. Same situation, completely different outcomes. The only difference? Mindset. The real question is, when adversity hits, which person will you be? Most people fear failure because they are taught that failing means they aren't good enough. But failure is not proof of weakness. It is proof of effort. It is a sign that you are in the arena, that you are pushing beyond what is comfortable. And if you can shift your mindset from "why me" to "how can this make me better," you unlock a level of growth that most people never reach. One way to do this is by keeping a challenge journal. Every time you face a setback, write it down. Then, next to it, write one way that the challenge could make you stronger. Maybe losing a job forced you to start a business you always dreamed about. Maybe a painful breakup pushed you to work on yourself in ways you never had before. Maybe a failure showed you a weakness that you needed to fix to become unstoppable. When you do this consistently, you start to see challenges differently. Instead of something to fear, they become something to use. Most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort. They seek the easy path. The problem is that the easy path leads nowhere. Every great achievement, every strong person, every legend you admire, they all became who they are because of struggle, not in spite of it. The hardest moments of your life are not punishments. They are training. The things that test you the most are the things that prepare you for what's next. The next time life knocks you down, take a deep breath. Don't resist it. Don't panic. Ask yourself, how is this making me stronger? Because if you can shift your mindset at that moment, you will be untouchable. You will develop a level of mental toughness that most people never will. People who rise to the top are not the ones who avoid failure. They are the ones who use failure. They are the ones who take every setback, every challenge, every painful moment, and turn it into something powerful. Most people quit when things get hard. They assume difficulty means they're on the wrong path. But the opposite is true. Struggle means you are growing. It means you are pushing beyond what is comfortable. It means you are becoming something greater than you were before. So the next time you feel like quitting, remember this. Your challenges are not obstacles. They are opportunities. They are shaping you into the person you need to become. They are making you sharper, stronger, more unstoppable. Say it out loud. Say it with conviction. I embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. Not because it's easy, not because you enjoy the struggle, but because you know deep down that every difficulty you face is making you unbreakable. 6. I am ready to step outside my comfort zone. 80% of people will never pursue their dreams. Not because they aren't capable, not because they lack talent, but because they are afraid. Afraid of failure, afraid of judgment, afraid of stepping into the unknown. And so they stay where it's safe, where it's comfortable, where nothing ever changes. They tell themselves, maybe one day, but one day never comes. Because fear does not disappear on its own. If you are waiting for fear to go away before you take action, you will wait forever. Fear is not a stop sign. It is a signal that you are about to grow, a signal that you are on the edge of something bigger than yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle is the way." What stands in your way is not there to stop you. It is there to guide you. The thing you are avoiding is often the very thing you need to do. Think about the moments in life that changed you the most. They were not the moments where everything was easy, predictable, and comfortable. They were the moments where you had to take a leap, face uncertainty, and do something that scared you. Growth does not happen inside your comfort zone. Nothing new, nothing great, nothing extraordinary is built in a place of safety. Most people misunderstand fear. They think feeling afraid means they should stop. But fear is just an emotion. It is not a fact. It is not a prophecy. It is simply your brain trying to keep you safe. But safety is not the goal. Growth is. There is a reason professional athletes, Navy SEALs, and high achievers deliberately push themselves into discomfort. They know that fear loses its power when you face it often enough. The more you do something that scares you, the less power fear has over you. This is how the strongest people in the world train themselves to handle pressure, to thrive in uncertainty, and to rise above what others believe is possible. If you want to step outside your comfort zone, you need to train your mind like an athlete trains their body. One way to do this is through the fear ladder method, a simple strategy to make fear lose its grip on you. Imagine your biggest goal, the thing that scares you the most. Instead of diving into it all at once, break it into smaller steps. Each step should be slightly uncomfortable, but not overwhelming. For example, if public speaking terrifies you, start by speaking in front of a mirror. Then speak in front of one person, then a small group. Each step conditions your mind to handle more pressure. Over time, what once seemed impossible becomes normal. But beyond strategy, you need action. Every single day, do one thing that makes you uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be massive. It just has to push you beyond what feels safe. Strike up a conversation with a stranger. Say yes to an opportunity you normally would avoid. Try something new. Take a risk, because when you make discomfort a habit, you become unstoppable. Most people fear what might go wrong, but what if you flipped that? What if, instead of fearing failure, you feared staying the same? What if you feared waking up 5 years from now, realizing you wasted time, stayed stagnant, and let fear dictate your life? That should scare you more than any temporary discomfort. Fear is not the enemy. Inaction is. The people you admire, the ones who inspire you, are not fearless. They are simply the ones who move forward despite their fear. They learn that courage is not the absence of fear. It is acting in spite of it. The greatest regrets in life are not the things you tried and failed at. They are the things you never tried at all. The opportunities you walked away from because you were afraid. The dreams you let fade because staying comfortable felt easier. So say it out loud. Say it with conviction. I am ready to step outside my comfort zone. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Right now. Because the truth is, you will never feel ready. And that's exactly why you need to take action now. Your future self is waiting on the other side of your fear. Don't let them down. 7. I choose to make a positive impact today. If today were your last day, what would you leave behind? What would people remember about you? Would your presence have made a difference? Or would your absence go unnoticed? Most people go through life without ever asking themselves this question. They assume they have more time. They assume impact is something reserved for the future, something that happens later. But later is not guaranteed. The only time you truly own is now. The greatest regret of the dying is not what they did. It's what they didn't do. The moments they stayed silent when they should have spoken. The chances they didn't take. The love they didn't express. The kindness they withheld. We spend so much time chasing success, money, and comfort. Yet in the end, what truly matters is how we make others feel. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, said it best. Stop arguing about what it means to be a good person. Be one. Most people believe happiness comes from what they gain. More money, more status, more possessions. But fulfillment does not come from consumption. It comes from contribution. The people who feel the deepest sense of meaning are not the ones who have the most. They are the ones who give the most. The ones who know that true wealth is measured, not in what you collect, but in what you give away. Yet, most people wait. They wait for a big opportunity to make an impact, not realizing that small actions create ripple effects. The truth is, you don't need millions of dollars to change someone's life. You don't need to be famous. You don't need permission. Every single day, you have an opportunity to leave the world better than you found it. And that opportunity is right in front of you. A kind word to a stranger. Encouragement to someone who is struggling. Taking the time to truly listen, to show someone they matter. These things seem small, but they are not, because the smallest actions can have the biggest impact. A simple conversation can change the trajectory of someone's life. A moment of kindness can restore hope in someone who is ready to give up. But impact isn't just about others, it's about you. When you choose to make a difference, you don't just change the world around you, you change yourself. You shift your focus from what you lack to what you can give. You stop waiting for life to feel meaningful and start creating meaning in every moment. You become stronger, more compassionate, more powerful, not because of what you take, but because of what you give. One of the most effective ways to make this a habit is through the one good deed rule. Every day, commit to doing one thing, just one, that makes someone else's life better. It doesn't have to be huge. Compliment someone, help a coworker, call a friend you haven't spoken to in years. The act itself doesn't matter. What matters is that you train yourself to be a person of impact. Someone who does not wait for the perfect moment, but creates it. But words are not enough. If you want to inspire others, lead by example. People don't follow words, they follow actions. If you want to spread kindness, be kind. If you want to create a culture of respect, respect others. If you want to make the world a better place, start with the way you live your own life. Most people underestimate their ability to influence the world around them. They think, I'm just one person. What difference can I make? But history proves otherwise. The greatest changes in the world, the greatest revolutions, the greatest movements were sparked not by crowds, but by individuals. By someone who decided enough was enough. By someone who chose action over excuses. By someone who refused to wait for others to take the lead. The truth is, you are always making an impact. The question is it the impact you want to make? Every interaction, every choice, and every word you speak leaves a mark. And the people around you, your family, your friends, your coworkers, are influenced by it. Whether you realize it or not, you are shaping the world around you. So what kind of world are you building? A world where people feel supported, encouraged, and inspired? Or a world where negativity, indifference, and selfishness continue to spread? You don't need to be perfect to make a difference. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to choose. Choose to be someone who adds value instead of taking it. Choose to be someone who uplifts instead of tears down. Choose to be someone whose presence makes the world a little brighter. Because the meaning of life is not found in what you get. It is found in what you give. Say it out loud. Say it with conviction. I choose to make a positive impact today. Not someday, not when it's convenient. Today. Because the world doesn't need more people who wait. It needs more people who act. And that starts with you. Every morning, you have a choice. A choice to shape your mindset, to set your focus, and to define the kind of person you will be. The words you speak to yourself are not just thoughts. They are the foundation of your reality. They dictate how you face challenges, how you see opportunities, and how you navigate the uncertainties of life. You can choose to live on autopilot, reacting to whatever the day throws at you. Or you can take control. You can decide before the world demands your attention that you will start strong, that you will choose happiness, that you will practice gratitude, that you will believe in your potential, that you will refuse to waste energy on things you cannot control. You will see challenges as opportunities, that you will step outside your comfort zone, and that, no matter what, you will make a positive impact today. This is not about empty motivation. This is about training your mind just as you would train your body. Strength is built through repetition. Confidence is built through action. Success is built through discipline. And every morning, when you repeat these 7 lines, you are reinforcing the identity of the person you want to become. But words alone are not enough. You must live them. Make this a habit, a daily ritual, a commitment to yourself. And as you do, you will begin to see the change, not just in how you think, but in how you act, in how you respond, in how you grow. Now, I want to hear from you. What line resonated with you the most? How will you apply these principles in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's learn from each other, grow together, and make every single day a step toward the life we are meant to live.